News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Human rights complaint revealed. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It is Wednesday, June 3rd, 2015. Pretty morning out there, pretty sunrise, lots of clouds, kind of backlit by the sunrise. We have 47 degrees under a cloudy sky right now, and our newscast is sponsored by Dig It Excavating, bringing 30 years of excellence to every job. Call 214-4292. Our top story this morning, the recently released human rights complaint by Captain Mike Dominic against Sheriff T.J. McDermott accuses the new sheriff of doling out benefits to political supporters while punishing political opponents. The two men at the center of the, quote, unlawful retaliation, end quote, complaint are Sheriff McDermott and former Chief Deputy Coroner Mike Dominic, Captain of Detectives, whose complaint recounts many incidents of concern over several years at the Missoula County Sheriff's Office. Here is one excerpt from the complaint highlighting the extensive nature of the enemies list accusation, and I quote, Captain Dominic's treatment is part of McDermott's pattern, practice, or policy of maintaining an enemies list of those who either opposed or did not actively support McDermott's campaign for sheriff during the primary and general elections, end quote. Because of the import and seriousness of these charges, I had a chance to visit with Sheriff T.J. McDermott yesterday evening actually, and decided to play the entire interview with Sheriff McDermott in the sense of fairness. So here is that interview with T.J. McDermott last evening.
The citizens of Missoula County elected me to be their sheriff, and it's unfortunate that we have certain distractions from current or former members of the department. There has been no retaliation against Mr. Dominic for his support of my opponent in the last election. And rest assured, we're working diligently every day to be the best law enforcement agency that we can be. And our pledge to Missoula County is to run the sheriff's office as effectively and efficiently as possible. And really, Peter, Mr. Dominic's allegations just need to be addressed in the appropriate forum.
Okay, and that would be where?
The Human Rights Bureau.
Okay. Now, I'm assuming that just as when you and Under Sheriff Johnson were involved with the Human Rights Bureau, they'll send over an investigator and talk with all the parties involved. Is that correct?
That's true. And I respect Captain Dominic's right to file a complaint, but there's a process for handling these types of complaints. And, that process does not include Captain Dominic or his attorney deliberately distributing their complaint, which is full of outrageous and slanderous statements to local media outlets before a proper investigation can be completed by the Human Rights Bureau.
So anything else you'd like to say?
Yes. Captain Dominic retained his rank and pay after the election. He also retained his position as our chief deputy coroner, and he supervises about a dozen other deputy coroners. He's also in charge of our secure evidence facility. He performs our crime scene management services. All of these duties, Peter, are very important, meaningful work, and provide a great service and benefit to our community.
He was the captain of detectives at one point, and then before you took office, correct?
He was.
All right. Now, is there currently a captain of detectives, or is that post remained unfilled yet?
Currently, right now, we do not have a captain of detectives. Right now, we have a lieutenant's position in detectives, and it's just a budgetary reason. There's a limited number of positions within our budget that we can pay for. So,
going forward from here, TJ, what will be your basically daily discipline to keep things moving and keep the Sheriff's Department operating as it should?
Well, it's important for your listeners to know that, every day we're working very hard to provide this community with a sheriff's office that we can be proud of and trust. This stuff is definitely a distraction from the outstanding work that's being done daily by the men and women of the sheriff's office. We've filled our vacancies, we've updated our uniforms and equipment, and we're getting back on track to providing this community with a very good sheriff's office.
Again, that's a complete interview with Sheriff T.J. McDermott conducted yesterday evening. If you would like to read the complaint in its entirety, it's also on our website at newstalkkgvo.com. In further news, 45-year-old Carl Tanner appeared in Missoula Justice Court yesterday, charged with felony assault, kidnapping, and partner or family member assault, after allegedly strangling his wife and forcing her to jump out a second-story window to escape him. Deputy Missoula County Attorney Celine Kepke detailed Tanner's attack against his victim.
The victim believed that she was going to die. The defendant punched the victim, pushed her face into the bed to the point that she believed she was going to black out. The defendant then took her phone and purse and would not let her leave the residence, and again threatened to kill her if she called the police.
As Judge Orzek was setting bail at $50,000, a woman in the gallery stood and attempted to address the court. The defendant's ex-wife wanted to inform the judge that the victim was lying about the charges. When Judge Orzek asked her to be silent, the woman began to laugh, at which point the judge told her to be quiet or face jail time, and that Justice Court was not the venue for such comments. Tanner was remanded to the jail on $50,000 bail. His next court appearance, June 16th. The issue of sexual assaults and how they're prosecuted has been the focus of intense scrutiny over the past 2.5 years in Missoula. In the wake of agreements with the U.S. Department of Justice Civil Rights Division, the Missoula County Attorney's Office, now headed by Kirsten Pabst, has instituted new techniques and procedures to improve, first, the way sexual assault victims are treated, and second, how the cases are prosecuted.
Prosecutors having much lower caseloads, being able to spend more time on their cases, being able to spend more time with victims, victims feeling like they've been heard more than they were in the past.
Pabst said despite all the best intentions, no one can guarantee the outcome of a jury trial.
Can we guarantee that we're going to win every case at trial? No, we can't do that. But we can guarantee that we will pay attention to the victim's needs 100% of the time, that we will be responsive 100% of the time, and that we'll base our decisions on facts and evidence 100% of the time.
Last Friday, 20-year-old Timothy Schwartz of Bozeman was found not guilty of raping a University of Montana student in her dorm room. In 2013, former UM quarterback Jordan Johnson was also acquitted of rape. In 2013 as well, Bo Donaldson was sentenced to 30 years in prison with 20 years suspended. After confessing to raping a childhood friend, he was denied parole on Friday. Our News Talk time now is 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly cloudy skies today with a chance of showers and afternoon thunderstorms. Highs will top out right around the 70-degree mark. We'll see an isolated shower Thursday. Sunshine returns Friday and Saturday with our highs in the low 80s. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.